This is Bieres de la Meuse by Alphonse Mucha. To put it simply, it's a beer ad. To put it not so simply, it's modernity. The end of a century and its horde of rapidly changing ideas, manifested in the idea of the new woman. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's pause for a moment and allow me to offer you some context. Alphonse Mucha was born in 1860 in what is the modern-day Czech Republic. He was always artistically inclined, but struggled for some time to make life as an artist work for him. Mucha left home at 19 for Vienna, then to Munich, and finally to Paris in 1887. 7 years later, he became an overnight sensation. He was given a last-minute commission to create an almost life-size poster for the production Gizmonda, featuring the radiant star Sarah Bernhardt. This poster was so incredibly popular that the people of Paris quite literally tore it off buildings to bring home and decorate their own walls. After that, he became an incredibly sought-after illustrator, even signing a contract with Champollion, a very popular printer at the time. Under them, he produced a prolific amount of art for advertisement, one example being in 1896 Job cigarette papers, as well as a very own Bieres de la Meuse. Alright, let's get back to it. This lithographic poster is 154.5 centimeters in length and 104.5 centimeters in width. It was created by Mucha in 1897 for a beer company situated on the Meuse River. The image itself is a visual seduction. It contains the usual stylistic elements of Art Nouveau posters: a sensual young woman in a moment of leisure, organic forms, and free-flowing hair. The elegant, plant-like forms drew inspiration from the designs of William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. Even with the presence of a background, there is still a tendency towards flattening, inspired by Japanese prints. Mucha's use of colors and form create this heady daze that immerses the viewer and the potential customer to join in. This poster is a beautiful example of melding the relationship between fine art and commercial art. Modernity is encompassed by Mucha's inspiration and usage of colored lithography, which was relatively new at the time. This image also represents the young modern woman partaking in a typically masculine activity, drinking. Like smoking, women seen participating in these activities were previously received as deviant, but the new woman broke these rigid boundaries. Unfortunately, this manipulation of the public spheres also created new ways for women to be objectified. No longer were women strictly seen to adhere to ideas of piety and modestness, as represented in the subjects of the pre-Raphaelites, who were seen as visual precursors to some Art Nouveau artists with their idealized and dreamlike subjects. They were now seen in a moment of feminine performance, simultaneously innocent and seductive, and the woman seen in Bieres de la Meuse is just an example of how these new women were seen as decoration. Aside from her face, more effort is put into the details of her attire, accessories, and the background plane than even the woman herself. But to make a quick distinction, Mucha never formally aligned his work with the Art Nouveau movement. He was of the belief that art, or at least his art, should have a timeless quality. In his later years, he dedicated 2 decades of his life to creating a series of intimidatingly monumental history paintings, the Slav epic. So in short, Mucha himself wasn't so much as actively going against these new art movements or the traditional academies and their long reigns of authority, so much as he was initially striving to making a living and utilizing art to connect with his culture and history. Mucha, his art, along with everyone else in this time period, was simply strung along with the fevered rush of modernity.